so number 2's on the way.
Y'all might already knew that.
You got your CVS receipt?
That's right, yeah.
All the coupons.
It's okay. We're having 27 of them.
There it is. There it is, folks. Clip it.
Put that on your Christmas card.
And welcome back to the Fortitude podcast for your hosts, Micah and
Sarah.
And we are so excited for this podcast because we have on the Dylan and Shelby.
Woo!
Was that pretty good? Was that pretty good? And they are. I'm so excited to talk to you guys because you guys had a crazy rise in your social media. In you have over 5 million on TikTok. You're pushing 1 million on Instagram. You're pushing 1 million on Facebook, and it just seems like all accounts are absolutely exploding. And you guys, I've been following you guys for a little bit now, and you're such a joy to watch, and you bring so much laughter and joy, and so excited to meet you. Excited to meet you guys actually for the first time. We have so many people in our circle that we have similar friends and mutual friends, yeah. And so I'm excited to finally meet you guys.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be on here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a crazy little over a year now. Like you said, just with the rise of everything, it's wild just being able to be here to talk with y'all. I mean, it's just
couldn't have expected it to happen. So.
Yeah,
this is just amazing. That we're able to do what we do.
So, what were you guys doing prior to? Like, how did it come about? How did you get into it? Was it just a fluke? Were you just like, this is, let's just do this on the side?
Were you doing it for fun, or were you like hoping that it would take off? What did that look like?
Okay, I actually shared a little bit about this morning on my Instagram. So, I'm a teacher, and in December of 2022, it was Christmas break, and I actually had a little bit of time to scroll TikTok. And I found a lot of family accounts that were very funny and just relatable to us. And I told Dylan, I said, we're funny. We can be relatable. And I said, let me film you. And he loves editing, and he loves content creation and stuff like that. And so I knew if I worked on him for a little while that he would finally come around to the idea of it.
No, I felt like she was joking the whole time, and then I just called her out on it because she said, she every so often she watch her Instagram influencers and creators, and she'd be like, man, I'd really like to do that. So one day I was just like, all right, we'll see.
Yeah.
I said, we'll post a video a day for a month. And we'll see where we're at. If we enjoy doing it, we'll just keep on doing it. Mm-hmm. If we start to get some traction, we'll keep on doing it. I think after a month, we were at 100K on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So
we just decided to keep going.
We'll just dive in, I guess.
Yeah. In your first year, what did your growth look like? 0 to what in your first year?
We were at
over 4 million.
4 million in our first year on TikTok, and then at the beginning of the year, I want to say I had 300,000 on Instagram, and so that was about a year in on Instagram. We didn't really focus heavily on it to begin with, but now we try and post there just as much.
Now that TikTok's getting banned.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, now that we don't know what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
We're posting on all the platforms.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to diversify. And so, that's insane. 0 to 4 million. So was that how was that for you guys? Was it just kind of surreal? Was it why is this happening? Did you feel the pressure to okay, we need to now keep consistent? Was there ever type of pressure that brought on stress? How was that process for you guys?
Oh, absolutely, especially during the blow up, because you feel as if you everything's it's got to hit. you got to stay. You feel like you always got to stay relevant, and I think at the beginning we were doing. We posted one video every single day for the first
probably for the first 6
months. We didn't miss a single day. We had saw where consistency is key, and we just took that and ran with it, and it worked for us. But I mean, we did. It did become. There's stressful. Things that come with being daily creators, and always feeling that you gotta perform. I mean, you got to. It's gotta hit.
Put out a video that will perform well.
Right.
And it was also during the last trimester of pregnancy, and then we had Kemp in May. We signed with our management team in April. And so that's when we started doing, brand deals, and we were so grateful for that. But that was also right when we had our son. And so it was definitely stressful trying to make sure that, we had that done. I was on maternity leave. Dylan was still working, full time. So it was very difficult and stressful. And so, yeah, we had a hard time balancing it. But once we kind of released that feeling of having to be on all the time, every single day. Once we finally released that, it felt more like fun, and we've enjoyed it.
I feel like we maybe depended on ourselves during that time more than our faith, and God is just you just do what you do, and God will take care of the rest. And sometimes I felt like we were trying to do too much.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. It's so easy in this space, especially where you start to feel like I am in control of everything that happens here, and so it's completely up to me. Which we do have a certain amount of control, but it's like we just do what we can, and then God will multiply the rest into something that we never could have imagined. Clearly, with what has happened with your guys' platform, which is so cool to see. And I think that it's like just when we do surrender those things to Him, and we're like, you know what? I'm just going to let you use this. I'll do what I can. You take it where you want it to go. Then we can, it's easier said than done because we're human beings. Yep. So that's something we pray for every day, where it's like, just help us surrender this over to you and have peace of mind with what you're going to do with it.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. I couldn't imagine doing a job like this without having faith. I couldn't imagine doing it. I don't see how people do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. How long have you guys been married?
Be 5 years.
We got married in December of 2019, so about 5 years. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're one off. We got married in 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all were the stay at home.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We had our wedding date planned out like 2 years.
Yeah, we got engaged in October of 2018. Yeah. And then our wedding, our engagement, where we wanted to get married was like November of 2020 was the next available. So we planned it for November of 2020. Right. And then the pandemic happened, and then we were like, oh, all these poor people with their summer weddings having to move their wedding. Like, thank goodness ours is until November. And then it's like the time continues to pass. Yeah. It's September. We're like, okay, we're gonna have to move our wedding.
Oh gosh.
This is not happening.
And then we ended up just going home, like to my place. We have like a farm in the country in Wisconsin. And so my dad married us there with her parents, and it was just like a small thing to get legally married. And then we had the wedding in May as like a celebration kind of a thing. Yeah. So that was a crazy time.
It was. We actually just shared our honeymoon story where our ship wrecked into another ship on our honeymoon.
They missed the ship. They just couldn't see
right into the other one. Right. Yeah.
I always joke around right in the middle of the ocean. They just
that did not happen.
Imagine this massive ocean and these two boats just
happened.
They couldn't possibly turn in time.
But what happened?
We were porting.
Yeah, we were.
And the wind was real rough, and so the back of our boat hit the bow of their boat, so their bow just sliced through one of our dining rooms on our boat.
Wait, what? Your dining rooms? Were you in there?
We weren't in there. No.
No, but I mean there were people in there, and I think one person might have been injured, and
I think they were
had
just trying to evacuate.
but they had to take them to the hospital to get checked out. But
Wow.
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
that is great. I mean, that's something that you like have nightmares about.
That's like
when
a
you go
total
on
freak
cruise.
thing.
it was.
It's like watching the Titanic while you're on a cruise. It's like,
Yeah, seriously.
like, it doesn't do you any good.
Like
Right.
snakes on a plane while you're
Yeah, while you're flying, it's like why are you watching? Why is this even an option? What did you guys prior to like what you? I know you were a teacher, Shelby. I don't know if I knew what you did, Dylan.
Okay, so kind of back to when we got married. We got married. I graduated college with my bachelor's degree in business management the Saturday before we got married. So I graduated. Then the next Saturday we got married. We purchased a camper and lived in a camper for a year and a half. So we did that when I was looking for jobs fresh out of college, and she was still in school. But so we were going to live in a camper while we figured out where we were going to live, just to keep from just to save money in the scheme of things. COVID hit. That's that's when the pandemic started. So jobs were not available. So I'm sitting here with my degree, like
Working a labor job.
Working what they call them, essential worker. I was an essential worker, waiting, looking at job postings every day, and so I did that for a year after graduating until I started working at a local bank in our town, and then I did that until we started doing this.
That's cool. Yeah, I know that was a crazy time. Yeah. So you got your degree in
2019.
December of 19. Yeah.
2019. Oh, and then basically COVID was like, you're not going to do anything with that.
Nope.
Yeah. And so Shelby, you were saying how Dylan liked editing and always liked content creation. So were you dabbling in it beforehand, or?
It was more of like in college in group assignments and stuff. I would always like edit the videos, and I think my last semester we were in a group class, and I edited our video. We had to do like a commercial, and one of the guys was like, "Man, you should think about actually, doing this. You missed your calling." I was like, well, I guess I didn't miss my calling, because it come back to bite me in the rear end.
Yeah, God won't let you miss your calling.
No. I believe that as long as you're in motion, God's gonna open doors. It's up to you whether you want to walk through them and actually make those steps, because I don't know. It's like that saying where it's like God didn't create a chair, he made a tree, and then he made and so it was up to you to make a chair out of a tree, but he gave you the tools in order to make a chair so that you could sit on and have furniture and have houses and all this stuff. But he's not just going to give you $1 million, or he's not going to give you a thriving business. He's like, you have to be in motion marriage. Or a thriving marriage. Yeah. It's that's a daily practice, but if you I think if it's a daily activity of, it's like that surrendering, like we talked about, that's a daily thing. That's not like you do one prayer and you're like, now I have peace for the rest of my life. Over this, I wish, but it's a daily prayer for me. I struggle with that because I have performance, issues. That's not the right way. Performance issues. That's going in a different direction. No, we don't. We're pregnant. We're fine. We're doing just fine. But like tend to be performance driven.
Yeah.
Where it's like if we aren't getting results, like I'm garbage. It's like that kind of a thing where it's like I'm putting too much of my identity in that, and so that's a daily thing of just trusting that if we do what is in our control, that then we just have to surrender up to God's timing and God's, let him do the rest. It's like, and so how much how faith kind of played into your guys's life? Is that something you were brought up in? Kind of tell me about that journey.
We were both raised in church, and I was baptized at 8. You were baptized at 7. We both had, families. We always said we were drugged. We were drugged to church on Sundays, mornings, nights, Wednesdays.
Drugged.
Yeah.
We were drugged.
Yeah, they gave us a church pill, and then, he did the rest.
Drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, drink this Kool-Aid, and we're going to go to church. It's going to mellow you out.
Oh, goodness. But, of course we've had our, struggles, but just like, everyone else, we struggle with sins and things like that. And so the Lord has just really worked in our lives, especially through our marriage. I feel like without the Lord, things could be totally different. We have great mentors that pour into us, and people that really care about us, and our families are very strong in their faith, which has been such a blessing to have both families that our parents are just such good examples for us, and grandparents and stuff. So anyway, we've just been blessed with people surrounding us that have poured into us in our faith, and I think that the Lord has truly blessed us with that, because I know a lot of people don't have that. So
absolutely.
Did either of you ever have a time where, I know it's common, where it's like we grow up in church, this is what we're supposed to believe, this is what we're supposed to, prescribe to, and then there can be a season where it's like discovering that for yourself as an adult. Did you ever have a time where maybe like you were exploring, you had doubts, you had any questioning? I think those things are supernatural when it comes to just the development of our faith. Was there ever any of that, or were you pretty steadfast all throughout?
I wouldn't say that I ever had doubts about my faith, but there are times, especially one time, that I felt like I strayed away, and that was whenever I moved off to college, and I quit going to church because I didn't have my parents sitting there telling me hey, you have to be at church tonight. This morning, you have to be at church. So, I didn't go. And then I was in college for about a year, or at that college for about a year. And then me and Shelby got together. And we started dating, and we found a church in our small college town and started going to it. And that's was really the turning point of that issue of me kind of straying away and trying to live on more worldly things.
I think that's like a huge statistic when you go off to college. Mm-hmm. A lot of Christian teenagers, they don't have that support system anymore, and they do stray a little bit, and it is difficult. The college that we went to was it was in a small town, and so there weren't many resources, and so it was definitely difficult for us, during that season. But thankfully, when we found each other and started going to church, that was a blessing. But I think Yeah, like I don't think I ever had any doubts about my faith, but of course there are questions when you think about just the world and like
Right.
how small we are here on this earth. Like you do think about those things, and thankfully, like I said, we have great mentors and people that we can ask questions, and I just feel like that is such like something I want to like stress to people is like get plugged in somewhere and just find those people, because it can be hard trying to do it on your own, and it's
Exactly.
just
Find
finding
people,
those
find
people.
good Christian counsel that will be real with you no matter what.
Yeah, we've been huge advocates on here for mentorship or finding people that are like further in life where you want to be,
have
that
more
you
wisdom.
can glean from.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah, I think you're right. Like in college, that was a big season of my life of discovery, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the questioning side of it, because that I think when you go through that, you're getting more deep rooted in something, especially if you go down that path and you're actually, really discovering your faith. Why do you believe what you believe? Where you kind of take on now your own ownership over your faith, as opposed to what your parents just said and what your parents told you to do. And that can cause more deep rootedness, as opposed to the answer, well, it's because my parents believe, it's because my parents do this, or because I just went to church as a kid, which I feel like is just a little bit surfacey. And so I think there's some, it's okay if you're in a season, of life where you're maybe like going through a little bit of questioning, or maybe a little bit of doubt, but I think that's totally normal in a lot of Christians' path and journey. And I just encourage you to just dive in more and just and really just plug into the word and figuring out for yourself where that is, because I feel like you're gonna have some discoveries when you do that.
Well, it's when you pursue those things that your faith gets strengthened. And then it's like, oh wow, I saw how God used someone in my life to show up for me, to shed light on something. And I also don't think that we're ever going to have every answer. Like we will never have every answer on this side of eternity, and that's just an element of faith.
Yeah. I was about to say, we're not supposed to understand everything. Like, what would be the point in having faith if we just understood everything all the time?
How was becoming parents for you guys? Was that like, I'm sure it was, there were tons of ups and downs, but what were some, like, did that test your relationship at all? I would love to hear about what that transition was like.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
I think having a child.
You're in your 20s, right?
Yeah,
She's 28 and I'm 29.
28 and 29. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. We did wait a little bit before having children, and when we finally decided to do that, we felt like it was the right time, and we had prayed about it for a while, and so we were prepared for what we thought we were prepared for what was coming, and I think honestly, because we had prepared and prayed a lot about it, the Lord really walked us through that season. We had a good support system, like for family, which I was super, super grateful for. But it was hard, like it just becoming a parent and trying to figure out that dynamic between you and your husband is hard. And I would say it's taken us a year to finally get back to that, point where we feel like we're dating each other again.
Yeah.
Because at first we're kind of, we're focused on him.
We're trying to make sure he survives, and then we survive at the same time.
Yeah. Our relationship did take a step to the side, and I think that's pretty normal for a lot of couples. Mm-hmm. But it was like, it got to the point where we knew like we had to focus on our relationship in order to be the best parents that we could for Kemp. And so once we finally did that, it was, a big change and a good change. And we, we have enjoyed being parents. Like, it's thankfully that the motherly and fatherly like part of it has come pretty natural for us, and I'm super grateful for that too.
Yeah, I was back to like the question. I was pretty nervous going into parenthood. I always thought like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to take care of a child and make sure he gets everything he needs? And then it's like once you have a child, it's like God just gives you the ability. It's like you're just constantly figuring out, hey, I'm supposed to do this. Like you're just learning as you go. I thought I was supposed to have all the answers before he was born. Mm-hmm. And then I realized you're not supposed to have all the answers before he's born. You're supposed to learn as you go. And God equips you to be parents. So we just figured it out. Mm-hmm. It's kind of beautiful when you think about it, like just how it works out like that.
We can only do what we can do, and then God takes care of the rest.
Absolutely. I just wanted to, I'm sorry. No, I just want to touch, like, that's kind of the advice whenever people ask me for advice for parenthood. Like, that's the main thing I tell them is just don't expect to know it all.
I mean, I feel that currently where I'm like, I haven't learned enough and I'm already halfway done and I have to learn more. And it's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to learn everything that I need to learn to parent a child before they arrive. So calm down. Like just understand like what's going to happen when you give birth, and like you're good. Then you'll figure it out after that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was going to go back to something you said, Shelby, about like prioritizing bringing your guys' marriage relationship back as a priority. What are some, just for anyone out there who's maybe in a similar season, what are some tangible things that you guys did to kind of reprioritize that connection between the two of you?
We utilized our babysitters because that's something that was hard for us at the beginning, was to like let him stay with someone else. And so definitely just like of course it's nerve-wracking leaving your child with someone, even grandparents. It can be hard. And so, because your baby best, you know how to take care of them the way that you think that they need to be taken care of. And so we definitely started doing that, and just making sure that we like communicated more. I think that was something that like we just had lacked communication for a time there. And then I'm a very like passive person, I think, and so sometimes I can just let things slide. And I'm usually like laid back and go with the flow anyway. And so after having him, I really had to work on communicating my needs to Dylan. And I think by doing that, like we were able to really strengthen our relationship, because he knew what I needed and then I knew what he needed. And then we worked on that. And then, so I think that really helped, communicating and definitely using the babysitter so that we could have time alone, because that's important.
I feel like communication probably has to even tighten up even more when you become parents. I mean, it's already like one of the most necessary things to have in your relationship, but then having a kid come along that becomes kind of your guys' world and your priority. It is. It was one of our doulas. What is it? A doula or
midwife?
I still don't know the difference. Doula.
I've explained this like 10 times.
Okay.
But yeah, it was midwife.
But the midwife, that was her advice, was like, don't forget about the love that you have for each other, because your kid is ultimately going to be your main focus. And it can be easy where that becomes all your focus. Mm-hmm. And so having a date night, whether it's even if it starts with like once every other week, at least do that so that you guys can just have some time for yourselves to connect. And so with having a kid, you are you stopping at one? Are you having two? Are you having three? Or are you four or five? Where is the start? Because I come from a family of six.
Really?
We are not going to be a family of six.
No.
No. Of eight. It's a family of eight. There's 6 kids. But
wow.
And so huge family. Wow. We just don't have the room in New York. It's the only reason.
Nor the will to get pregnant 6 times.
Yeah, no, that's the main reason. Have you guys thought about that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've both come from decently big families. I have two other brothers, and she has.
I'm the oldest of four.
Yeah, she's the oldest of four.
And so I would love to have a huge family. We're already working on that. So number 2's on the way.
Y'all might already do that.
We may have. That is so exciting, though. You got your CVS receipt?
That's right. Yeah.
All your coupons.
All the coupons.
It's okay. We're having 27 of them.
You're having 7 tuplets? Oh, so sweet. Oh, man. Well, that's so exciting, guys. Yeah, by this point, you'll have announced, but right now, nobody knows, so it's a little secret. That's kind of fun.
It is.
Absolutely.
I mean, was that the plan, was to kind of have, do you have like a number, or is it kind of like, let
I'm 3, she's 4.
Okay.
I would love to have 4, but we also, for a while now, I've had just like a heart for fostering and adoption. So we see that in our future as well. So we're letting the Lord lead us and His plan, So we'll see. But yeah, I would love to have all the babies, and Dylan's 3.
A few babies is all right,
We'll see though.
Yeah. Are you, so you guys are born and raised in Alabama. Do you see, are you, you have your roots planted there, and you don't see yourselves really going anywhere else?
Right. We just don't see it. Now, God may have another plan, but, we like living within driving distance of family, and,
We live right down the road from his parents, and my parents are 3 hours away, and so they're not too far to make a day trip. And so we always see ourselves living in Alabama, no matter where it is, whether it's north or south, but we plan to stay here for a while.
Yeah. I always wonder if for us that will, because I grew up in Kansas, Micah's from Wisconsin. So theoretically we could drive to our homes, but it would take a very long time. So
theoretically you could drive to California too.
Right. Yeah. So having a kid is going to bring up new challenges, because we don't have an immediate family to just be like, hey, can you watch our kid for a date night? So
our friends here in New York might take the brunt. Sorry, friends.
Yeah, thanks, friends. But I've always wondered if my perspective on living close to family will change, because we're very close with our families.
Yeah.
And we love spending time with our families. We just happened to, because we were doing musical theater professionally, that this is where we were, and this is where we met, and this is where our life happened to be, and we've just built community here, so we've stayed. But I'm curious to see what that will, how we'll feel after we have a kid, maybe 2. But it's hard to, my whole adult life has been in New York City, so it's hard to imagine living anywhere else, because it's the only adult life that I've ever known. So I kind of feel the same as you, whereas if we were to move somewhere else, God would definitely have to make it very, very clear that that's where we were supposed to go for some reason.
We have definitely felt that. Even today, we were trying to find a babysitter because his parents are out of town, and my parents are 3 hours away, and so we used friends. Thankfully, those good friends came through, and they came and are watching him. But yeah, it's definitely hard whenever you don't have that immediate family there. But I mean, if you have a good community of friends, I think you'll be.
Yeah, it's very true that it takes a village.
Right.
It does take a village, whether that's your church, your friends, your family. You got to have people in your corner.
Yeah, the nursery has been wonderful, because then Dylan and I get to go, to Sunday school together.
Yeah.
We get to go sit in church together, and that was something that was hard at first too, was leaving him in nursery, because I was like, I just want him to stay with us, and so,
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, even that time where Dylan and I get to dive into the Word together while he is being taken care of, that's been a blessing too. So,
along with being creators, you are now in the limelight a lot. you have 5 million plus people on TikTok alone, and your videos get millions and millions of views, which is, hard to conceptualize that many people actually like seeing you at what, like, never really in history have we had that type of access to that many people's opinions, that many people's affirmation, that many people's negativity, criticism, all that stuff. I'm just curious, like, as talking with other creators, I'm assuming I can't imagine you guys getting much hate like at all. I don't know why you would. But like, if you have you and has that ever, like, does that affect you at all, or is that kind of something that you just ignore, kind of slough off, and know that it's not you, it's the person?
For the most part, we have a very good community and a good comment section. Of course, there's a comment every now and then, or a few, maybe on a video. But towards the beginning, I think Shelby kind of would let the hate bother her a little bit. And that was something that we talked about a lot and prayed about, especially towards the beginning. It was like, if we know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we just, we put the content out there for people to be entertained, and, and to change, one of the main reasons we do it is because we get comments about us helping them with their mental problems or whatever it may be. We know we're doing it for the right reasons. So no matter what kind of hate comment we get, like, we just don't let it bother us anymore.
Well, we try not to. I know every now and then you'll see one and it will, like, be a dig at you. But I think what's hard is we see all these positive comments and we focus on that one negative one that we see. And especially in the beginning, we really kind of struggled with that. Thankfully, we don't have very many, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it can be difficult. But then we get those messages that are like, "Hey, you helped me through this breakup," or "Hey, you helped me through this hard time." And those messages, like, we try and focus on those now, and really think about the positivity. And we know that the Lord has given us this platform and that this is what we're supposed to be doing. So we're just going to keep posting. I think right now there's a movement, on TikTok, of just post your content and don't worry about what other people are going to say. And I love that because, people are always going to talk, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. And we just have learned to kind of let it roll off our backs. But
yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, it's like you're reaching millions of people. You think that every single person is going to have a positive opinion. Like, there's just so many different people's backgrounds and cultures and like life experiences that you just don't like. It's impossible to please everyone. Being a people pleaser and being a creator is, I think, impossible. Like, you just shouldn't do it. It's just that's abuse that you're doing.
It's hard.
I could say 2 + 2 is 4, and there is someone that it is absolutely
ultimately not for sure, and we'll try to prove how that is wrong. And so it's just like once you realize that, you just kind of. And there are certain people on there that are truly just trying to troll people, that are just that are looking to get reactions. So they probably don't even mean it. They're on there truly just to cause reactions. And so you just have to let that go, because they're already moving on anyway. They posted that comment, they're moving on with their life. They're not sitting there waiting for a response. They're moving on too. It's just such an interesting thing. So you don't even have to be a creator to be a people pleaser. It's like this is something that to work on just in your everyday life, of like knowing that you're not going to please everyone, and as long as you're living life out of your values, and in our values, in like as like Christ, whether you believe in Christ or not, whether you believe that he's the Savior or not, I think he has some pretty great principles to live by. So, if you just like follow his teachings, you'll live a pretty great life, and a pretty, pretty solid life. And so what are your thoughts on, now that you have one kid and you have another one on the way, social media, how much they're on, faces being on, whether they're going to be a part of your content? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it's no secret that we keep our children's faces off of our content.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Shelby go kind of more into that.
Yeah, so towards the beginning, we kind of felt conviction about it, but we did post him at the beginning. And quickly we realized, we have a ton, I don't know if many people know, but we have a ton of fake Facebook accounts. Our biggest fake Facebook accounts are like way bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Wait! Oh my
Same.
gosh! I thought we were the only ones.
Same.
We have one that has over 300,000+ followers.
Mm-hmm.
Is not us, and I think people think it's us because they
Yes.
have such a huge following. And I'm like, guys, I've been trying to get we report it. We've told people to report it. It's like nothing happens. Nothing's
They won't do
happening with
anything.
it.
Last October, Shelby counted over 80 something. So now it's probably well over 100, maybe 200.
The biggest fake account they're running ads on our videos, and I think that I think they have over 1 million now. They have our personal pages blocked, but I think they have over 1 million followers on Facebook, and we have 300.
It's so frustrating. There's no structure to that.
It's really bad on Facebook.
It's
and
really bad
and the
on
fact
Facebook.
that they do nothing about it is really it sucks.
It just seems it does. It's just so wrong. For all these creators that are getting plagiarized, basically, that we can't do anything about it, and it doesn't seem like they're trying to help us out either. But
anyway, back to your
Yes.
So they were posting.
They were posting the pictures that we would post on Instagram or wherever, but they would put their own captions to it, and it was just like
they could say whatever they wanted with our
wanted.
child's face, and people would think that is us.
And so we just kind of felt icky about it, and we prayed about it, and we just decided that for the time being we would take his face off of social media. But obviously, he's our
Hey, we're so proud to be parents.
Right.
It sucks. It honestly sucks to us. But that's how we feel we should act on it.
And we definitely don't, if other people show their children,
we're not against it. I never thought I would not show my kid's face on social media until I had a child. Even up we had him for a couple weeks. And then, and then that's when we felt conviction and felt like we probably should not.
And so we decided not to show his face, but we still include him in some of our content because he is part of our life.
He is our life. Yeah,
of course.
We post things about our life, and he's one of the biggest parts of it.
Right. So we obviously try and show some milestones, some videos that we've taken that don't include his face, and and just we obviously want people to still be part of his life, just not
It's sad that is a thing, because right now
I've never thought about what you just said, because
same.
we don't have a kid yet, and that is such a creepy point where it's other people posting whatever they want in a caption with the photo of your child is definitely it's definitely
unnerving.
Weird. Yeah.
Because it's such a personal decision, and I think I'm on the same, I'm thinking this similar to you, Dylan, right now, not having a kid, of just being he's a part of our life. He's not going to be the center of our content. We're not going to make him become the new star of our content. Right. It's just he's but I'm not going to shy away from putting an emoji over the face or whatever. That's us right now, and that could very well change. And I've seen creators do both and and so I guess it does just kind of come down to a personal decision.
Yeah, and you feel that
Don't
conviction.
don't decide based on what one person tells you or the other person tells you. That's between you or y'all two, your child, and God.
Do you guys have a vision for where you want to take your platform at all in regards to like impact you want to have, or I don't know, do you have any, is there any like goal or vision that you have surrounding what you want to do with your influence as it continues to expand?
I think we would really like to start to dabble into long term or long form content. So really getting a YouTube good and started. I don't. We don't really have much specifics on kind of what we want to do with it. We love to travel. We've been blessed to be able to travel as much as we have recently. So maybe something to do with more travel content with each other, as a family. And I don't know. Do you have anything that?
I mean, I have some dreams that I would like, in the future. But yeah, we don't have anything like tangible right now that we're working on, but definitely lots of things that we've talked about.
Yeah.
We would love to, obviously we want to keep posting on here and hopefully people can see Jesus through our content. And so like, that's just our main focus is spreading positivity and hopefully people see the Lord through us. But, that's kind of been our main focus. But yeah, I think both of us have dreams of doing things and starting businesses and things like that we can pass on to our children one day. And so they may not want to be on social media one day, and that's totally fine. But if we can establish something for our children to be handed down like that, that's the dream. We would
Absolutely.
love to set them up and be able to do that for them.
And leaving like a legacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, I think what you guys are doing is another form of evangelism.
It's a ministry in its own way.
Mm-hmm. Where people are seeing the fruits of your life and your marriage. And I think through your actions, people are seeing Christ as opposed to, because there are other ways than just being on the street corner, talking about Christ or telling people. There's one, I think people are more drawn to seeing the fruits of somebody's life and then maybe engaging in questions of, what gets you through like stress or anxiety or different things like that. And then to be able to authentically share about your faith, which is truth. It's not us trying to push our thoughts and our faith onto anybody. It's just the truth for us. Then hopefully that can encourage people to maybe start to explore that in themselves.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone through Instagram DMs one time that just messaged me and was like, are y'all Christians? Like you are so positive, and like they just noticed that I guess maybe some of those fruits and asked if we were Christians, and then we were able to have a conversation, and she asked lots of questions about faith and I don't know where she is in her journey right now, but I hope that even just our videos planted a seed, and that in and of itself is worth it to me to post these videos.
So there's so many different ways to reach people for the gospel, and some people need that guy on the street corner. Like they need to be walking down the street and hear that guy and what he has to say. Some people need to be reached a totally different way, and I'm so glad that God blesses us and to be able to reach people for Him in so many different ways. I have Christian like creator friends that that their whole content is Jesus, died on the cross, all things Jesus and Christianity. And then I have some friends that is more lifestyle and then draws people in that way, and then they're able to share the gospel with them. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like we kind of are more on that side of the spectrum of drawing people in, and then us being able to share the gospel with them that way.
It's not one size fits all. I think some people think that especially people that are new to Christianity or even Christians may put this pressure on other Christians that you have to do it this way and you have to go out and if you're not talking to somebody about Jesus every single day, then you're not a true Christian. It's like I don't necessarily agree with that, and I think what you guys are doing is so great, and you bring so much positivity and joy to people, and I always enjoy watching your stuff. And do you have, as we kind of finish up here, tell everybody where they can reach you? I know you're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Are you on YouTube?
We are.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. We're about to be more on YouTube, especially.
Okay, great.
The long form.
Yeah. So we're Shelby Dylan on TikTok.
Okay.
You can follow us both on Instagram at Shelb Reese and then him at Dylan K Reese.
Okay, I'll put these in the description as well so that people can find you guys pretty easy.
Hopefully, you can find us on your For You page. That would be great too.
I'm sure they definitely do on TikTok. I'm sure they definitely do. They see.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is. There it is, folks. Clip it. Send it everywhere. Put
that on your Christmas card. Yeah.
Shelby! I don't know why I had to go cross. I felt like me opening my eyes so big crossed them automatically.
Are you not telling me something?
Oh, that's hilarious. But wait, have you always had this is a side tangent, but have you always just kind of had big eyes, or where did that become a thing?
No, I mean, no one ever told me about them, but my eyes have always gotten big when I get flustered. So
I mean, it's pretty normal for his face to look like that.
But I didn't realize till people started commenting on our videos, my goodness, this dude's eyes are massive.
It's hilarious. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and taking time out of your day. We appreciate it, and
getting a babysitter.
Yeah, she's in there with him right now, hopefully having a good time. We would like to show our appreciation. There's been so many nights where we've been on TikTok or something, or we send y'all's videos to each other because we're just sitting there just cracking up.
Yes.
I wish I had the talent that y'all do, because y'all are hilarious.
Yes,
that is so great. Yes.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank you
for having us on. Yeah.
Of course. We hope that we can get together soon, and we can just continue to build this relationship. You guys are awesome. But we have a tradition, if you haven't listened to our podcast, but at the end we like to sing goodbye, and it's 2 notes, and you pick the note. It's random, and then we just see what happens, and it's typically bad. But sometimes there's a nice little harmony that ends up happening. So are you up for it?
I guess.
We're up for it.
And as always, we like to end our podcast by saying good.
Yes.
Oh man, I couldn't really hear you guys, but I'm sure it was amazing.
Yeah, can't wait to hear the blend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, Dylan, I heard. I felt it seemed like you strained yourself a little bit. So drink some water, get some throat coat, some tea. All right, bye guys.